It's here. October 13th, 2025 will be remembered as the night everything changes. The moon rising now is not normal. It carries the power to end one chapter and begin another. Whether you are ready or not, this night will ask for your choice. The last few days have felt strange for many. Heavy emotions, sudden memories, restless thoughts. That was only the warning. Tonight, the real shift begins. Don't mistake this as just another moon. October 13th is a turning point. The universe is watching who will step forward and who will keep repeating what was meant to end. Everything you think, say, and feel under this moon shapes the path ahead. So before we go into this, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and type 9999 in the comments. Tonight, the moon reaches a power point that turns everything in motion. This is not a quiet event. It's a gateway written in cosmic timing. The moon stands across powerful transits that have been building for weeks, connecting energies that rarely meet. In astrology, this combination marks a rebirth of truth and purpose. In myth, moments like this were seen as the passage between worlds, the time when destiny could shift in a single decision. The moon now moves through a region once watched by the wise, known for transforming endings into new beginnings. This isn't chaos, it's correction. What once felt out of reach is being drawn closer. The message is clear. Do not hold on to what's fading. What rises now carries the promise of renewal that will shape the months ahead. Right now, the universe is creating a turning point that connects directly with October 13th, 2025. This moment is part of a larger design, one that guides every soul toward growth and truth. The moon is not only changing the outer world, but also activating something deep within the human story. What once made sense may start to fade, and what was ignored may rise to be seen. This is the sign of karmic endings, where old promises and lessons reach their finish, so new paths can begin. Many people will sense that life is moving them into a new direction, without asking for permission. That is how spiritual shifts work. They clear what is outdated and open space for higher purpose. Soul contracts made long ago start to realign, bringing certain people back while others quietly move out of the story. These movements are not loss. They are alignment. Across time, teachers and mystics spoke about moments when the collective would reach a higher point of awareness, where truth becomes more important than comfort and courage becomes the key to progress. That time is now. The world is being restructured from the inside out, and those who are aware of it are part of a rare group that chose to awaken early. Every step taken during this period shapes the next chapter of both personal and global evolution. The moon is acting like a signal reminding each awakened soul that they are not here by chance. They chose this era to rise, to remember who they truly are, and to take their place in guiding others through change. Nothing happening now is against you. It's all preparation. The universe aligning you with the mission you came here to complete. The more truth embraced, the faster the path ahead becomes clear. This moon event is bringing a wave of emotional release unlike anything seen in months. Around 13th of October, hidden emotions begin to surface, not as punishment but as proof that transformation is working. People may notice strong mood changes, unexpected tears, bursts of energy, or sudden quietness after long noise inside. These moments are not chaos. They are realignment. The body and mind are sinking to a higher frequency of truth, clearing space for more peace to settle in. Old stories from the past may rise like echoes, memories of people, moments, or choices that once shaped the path. They come not to haunt, but to complete their circle. Emotional weight that was carried silently starts to lift, and what once felt too heavy to face begins to dissolve naturally. This is how deep renewal works, through the clearing of what no longer matches the new version of the self being formed. For some, it might appear as sudden tiredness or the urge to pull back from the noise of the world. For others, an unexpected spark of creativity may appear, a desire to start something new or speak truth without fear. Both are signs of the same inner process, expansion. The body processes energy in its own rhythm. Rest and movement are simply two faces of the same shift. Moments of emotional overflow can feel confusing, but they are signals that the inner landscape is healing faster than before. The mind is catching up with the heart, releasing layers of doubt, guilt, and fear that kept the spirit quiet. This moon doesn't ask for control. It asks for surrender to change, not as defeat, but as partnership with growth. Each person going through this phase is part of a larger awakening, where emotional clearing connects us beyond the surface. The collective heart is being washed clean of outdated pain so compassion can grow stronger. Even those who do not understand what is happening will feel drawn toward more honesty, empathy, and depth in their lives. This is not about losing stability. It's about finding real balance. The waves moving through emotion are teaching resilience and clarity. As the moon continues its influence, the world enters a softer, wiser rhythm, where reactions become awareness and pain becomes wisdom. No one is walking through this alone. Every tear, every pause, every spark of strength shared now adds to a global awakening. What's being released is not weakness. It's evolution in motion. The universe is not testing anyone. It's guiding them home to their highest state of being, ready for the light that follows every purge. October 13th opens a turning point that few expected, but everyone was meant to meet. The moon's pull is not gentle. It draws hidden emotions and buried truths toward the surface, asking for raw honesty. This is the night the mirror inside begins to speak. It shows not only what has been healed, but what has been avoided, ignored, or postponed for too long. The purpose isn't punishment, it's freedom. Every shadow that rises now is an invitation to reclaim power. The mind may wander toward old fears, fear of loss, of rejection, of being misunderstood. But these are not signs of weakness. They are proof that the soul is cleaning its roots. The more real one becomes, the more light enters those quiet corners that were kept in silence. The human spirit cannot transform without facing its hidden layers. This is not about perfection, but honesty, standing in front of your own truth and choosing to grow through it. Across these days, emotional intensity might rise and fall like a tide. Patterns once thought resolved may show up again, not to repeat, but to be rewritten with wisdom. This process is karmic cleansing in its purest form, a sacred alchemy, turning what once wounded into wisdom. The moon acts like a cosmic spotlight, exposing what no longer serves your higher path. Those who allow the process instead of resisting it will find themselves lighter, clearer, and more aligned with their purpose. Every ancient teaching speaks of this moment when the inner world becomes the real battlefield and victory is quiet transformation. The mind learns humility. The heart learns courage. True release is not about forgetting the past, but about understanding its lessons so deeply that it loses control over the present. October 13th serves as a reminder that endings can be graceful when met with awareness. There may be moments when silence feels heavy or emotions arrive uninvited, but even that is healing. Each hidden emotion emerging now is a messenger guiding toward authenticity. The moon's pull is asking for truth not in words but in presence. This is the art of alchemy, transforming resistance into wisdom, pain into purpose, and fear into fuel for growth. Karmic threads untangle during this period, breaking bonds that once limited vision or drained strength. Those who choose to face themselves will notice subtle clarity afterward. Decisions made from peace, not pressure. Every confrontation with inner darkness opens more room for compassion, both for oneself and others. Transformation through shadow work is the mark of maturity. It is not about fighting darkness, but integrating it until it becomes a source of light. The purpose of this phase is liberation, to step beyond the stories that no longer define the soul. And as the days move forward from October 13th, a quiet strength begins to rise. A strength that no longer fears truth because it finally stands in it. Today, an invisible current begins to move through the collective, reshaping how we connect, think, and choose. The world feels slightly tilted, as though the familiar edges of life are being redrawn. The moon's motion on October 13th acts like a signal, an invitation for awakening that touches both the personal and the universal. It doesn't demand perfection. It calls for awareness. What once drained energy begins to lose control, and what once inspired hesitation now feels ready to rise. Old timelines start to fade as the soul steps into clearer territory. This is the stage of awakening where silence grows louder than noise, where clarity replaces confusion. People may start to recognize repeating crossroads, the same lessons showing up in new forms, not to punish but to polish. Every decision made now carries more power than before. Because consciousness has expanded, the ordinary becomes meaningful and the smallest actions begin to ripple through reality with purpose. Spiritual awakening is not about leaving the world. It's about seeing it differently. It's when intuition becomes sharper, when synchronicities start to line up like quiet confirmations that something greater is guiding each step. The body begins to adapt. The mind learns to release control, and the heart opens in unexpected ways. This phase is not always smooth, but it's always honest. It's an awakening that humbles and strengthens at once. The deeper layers of this shift reveal that everything is connected. Thoughts, emotions, and choices echo across time. What once appeared random begins to form a pattern of intention. The universe communicates not through signs alone, but through the magnetic pull toward what truly matters. The moon's current moment serves as a reminder that awakening doesn't happen in isolation. It happens through connection, through awareness shared across souls ready to evolve together. Each awakening comes with a choice to remain in comfort or to step into authenticity. October 13th marks that threshold where resistance fades and courage begins to lead. The energy now encourages expression, creativity, and truth without filters. It's a spiritual reboot that replaces fear with curiosity and judgment with understanding. The awakening isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who was always hidden beneath noise and distraction. This era of realignment doesn't separate the spiritual from the human. It unites them. As more awaken, compassion spreads like wildfire through collective consciousness. Small moments of awareness multiply into global change. The awakening is not distant. It's already happening, quietly reshaping the future. Those who listen inwardly will recognize it, not through signs or symbols, but through an unmistakable sense of readiness that cannot be ignored anymore. Right now, something vast is moving through the collective field. Not loud, but undeniable. The atmosphere of consciousness itself is changing its tone, almost as if existence is tuning into a higher note. The shift is no longer a prediction or theory. It's unfolding in real time. What once felt fragmented is beginning to connect. Hidden truths rise through ordinary experiences, and human awareness expands in ways that language can barely hold. The transformation isn't coming. It's already happening, woven through conversations, art, and the silent choices people make each day. On October 13th, a pulse of awakening spreads wider than before. It's as though a collective mirror has been placed before us, reflecting what the world has become and what it still could be. This isn't about destruction or fear. It's about remembering the potential buried under routine. The moon's influence turns the invisible visible, pulling the deep unconscious of humanity into clear view. People who never questioned their lives are suddenly asking what they truly stand for. Relationships that once hid behind comfort now reveal whether they are real or merely habit. Every false layer begins to peel away, making space for what is authentic. This stage of planetary ascension is both demanding and merciful. Demanding because it asks for honesty where avoidance once ruled. Merciful because it offers renewal to anyone ready to release the outdated. As consciousness stretches, old systems of control lose their grip. The pursuit of dominance, the addiction to comparison, and the worship of illusion all begin to collapse under their own emptiness. What remains is raw potential, a collective heart remembering its original rhythm. People across the world are awakening not in the same way, but toward the same essence. Artists create with more depth. Leaders begin to listen instead of command. And even silence carries meaning. This movement doesn't belong to one religion, one country, or one philosophy. It's an uprising of awareness that transcends boundaries. The grid of human energy brightens as more individuals choose empathy over ego, truth over convenience, unity over fear. It's as though the spiritual architecture of reality is being rebuilt through compassion itself. This isn't the first shift, but it is one of the most decisive. Consciousness has reached a point where indifference can no longer survive. Every act of kindness now weighs more. Every lie echoes louder. The energetic laws that govern growth have quickened. Manifestation is faster, consequences clearer. Life is responding directly to the frequency of awareness each person carries. And this responsiveness, this mirror-like exchange between inner state and outer experience, is the foundation of ascension. People who once doubted their sensitivity now discover it's their greatest gift. Intuition becomes strategy. Empathy becomes strength, and authenticity becomes the new form of leadership. The new consciousness doesn't compete. It collaborates. It doesn't preach perfection. It celebrates evolution. Those who embrace transparency find themselves aligned with a rhythm that brings purpose naturally, without forcing. The deeper truth emerging now is that awakening is contagious. One conscious action inspires another, and soon it multiplies beyond imagination. This collective rising also brings contrast. Shadows within societies rise for clearing. Injustice, greed, denial. They cannot survive the increasing light of awareness. But these exposures aren't punishments. They are releases. Every hidden truth coming forward is part of the purification required for the next stage of evolution. People begin to recognize that transformation isn't chaos. It's clarity. The more transparency spreads, the more integrity becomes the only sustainable currency. Spiritual revolution isn't found in rebellion against the old. It's the building of something new that no longer needs to fight. The revolution happening now is internal, but its effects will be visible everywhere. It's a turning point where consciousness itself starts to govern reality more than fear ever did. The global grid of awareness hums with this new rhythm, one that values harmony over dominance, wisdom over noise, depth over distraction. Throughout history, shifts like these have rewritten civilizations, but none have occurred with such speed or reach. Technology spreads ideas instantly, yet it's consciousness that decides how those ideas are used. This is where the human spirit proves its maturity. Not by controlling information, but by choosing to elevate it. Every post, word, and thought becomes a building block of collective frequency. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is unseen. October 13th symbolizes a checkpoint in this vast awakening, not because the date holds magic on its own, but because it marks the moment awareness crosses a threshold. People are no longer satisfied with survival. They crave depth, meaning connection. The planet's vibration reflects this hunger for truth. Those who align with it will find their paths illuminated with opportunities to serve something larger than themselves. The collective shift is not an escape from reality, but a deep dive into it. Seeing with clarity, acting with integrity, and existing with presence. The awakening isn't waiting for the perfect time or the perfect person. It's happening through ordinary people doing extraordinary inner work. And as more awaken, the shared field of consciousness strengthens, lifting everyone closer to harmony. Each person who chooses awareness over avoidance contributes to this ascension. Each honest conversation, each compassionate decision becomes part of a global prayer spoken not in words but in vibration. The more we anchor this awareness, the more tangible the change becomes. It's not an illusion. It's evolution in motion. Those who sense this transition may sometimes question their role in it. But they are the bridges, living connections between what was and what's emerging. The purpose isn't to escape the physical world. It's to infuse it with soul. What we are witnessing is not the end of an era, but the rebirth of consciousness itself, rising, evolving, remembering. Every great shift in consciousness begins quietly, before it transforms everything it touches. The same is happening now. The transformation of the collective is not born from chaos, but from awareness, spreading like morning light through the corners of the human mind. The structures once built on fear and separation are beginning to lose power, not because they were destroyed, but because people are choosing differently. The illusion that the world must remain divided is dissolving as more hearts align with truth. The collective field of consciousness functions like an ocean, each awakened soul becoming a wave of influence that reshapes the surface for all. One person breaking free from fear creates permission for another to do the same. This is how ascension unfolds through chain reactions of courage and truth. It doesn't demand perfection. It asks for presence. The new energy moves through choices, conversations, and silent acts of kindness that ripple far beyond what the eye can see. October 13th acts as a symbolic threshold for this acceleration. The moon's light reaches deeper than before, stirring the invisible layers of awareness that connect us all. It reveals not only personal truth but collective responsibility. The call is no longer to withdraw but to participate consciously. Each person is a node in a massive web of awakening, transmitting energy through intention and attention. What is imagined and believed now carries real influence over how the shared world unfolds. The revolution of consciousness is not against governments or systems. It is within perception itself. People are beginning to understand that power is not about control but coherence, the ability to align thought, emotion, and action with integrity. As coherence strengthens in individuals, it stabilizes in the collective. The frequency of fear loses ground, replaced by the vibration of trust and collaboration. It's not utopia but evolution. Slow, steady, unstoppable. Many have sensed that time itself is shifting. Days feel both faster and fuller, as if moments stretch to hold more meaning. This is not imagination. It's awareness expanding. As the collective awakens, perception widens, and with it comes a deeper understanding of interconnectedness. The illusion of isolation is fading. We are beginning to live as a single consciousness expressed through billions of individual lives. Spiritual teachers once spoke of ascension as something mystical or distant. Now it's practical. It shows up in how people treat one another, how they choose to live, how they create. Ascension isn't a portal in the sky. It's a decision to embody awareness in daily life. It's refusing to participate in division, choosing empathy even when it's inconvenient, and living with a sense of purpose that no external approval can give. As this awakening grows, resistance surfaces. Not everyone will move at the same pace, and that's part of the process. Friction creates awakening. Disagreement sparks clarity. The collective is learning to hold contrast without losing compassion. This is the spiritual maturity being born now. the ability to see truth without judgment, to allow transformation without control. New frequencies are entering the field of human thought, and they demand authenticity. Words and actions that once carried manipulation now fall flat. Transparency becomes power. Those aligned with truth will thrive because their energy flows without distortion. The world begins to reorganize around integrity. Businesses, communities, and movements that honor consciousness will prosper. Those who continue to build from fear will find themselves fading naturally without conflict, without drama, simply outgrown by evolution itself. This shift also awakens deeper creativity. As the mind clears from collective noise, inspiration floods in. Ideas that once seemed impossible begin to form with ease. People rediscover their imagination not as escape but as creation. This is the heart of planetary ascension. The moment when awareness learns to dream consciously, shaping existence through harmony rather than reaction. In the coming months, the collective will continue to awaken in waves. Some will experience breakthroughs in understanding. Others will release long-held confusion. Every person, whether aware of astrology or not, will feel the influence of this transformation. October 13th marks not an ending but a turning point, a movement into greater alignment between consciousness and matter. The truth of ascension is this: it's not happening to us, it's happening through us. Every emotion healed, every truth spoken, every boundary honored becomes part of the architecture of the new consciousness. This is why your personal awakening matters. It's not isolated. Each time someone chooses love over judgment, honesty over fear, the collective grid strengthens. The planet doesn't rise because a few awaken. It rises because awakening becomes contagious. Consciousness is learning to lead through resonance rather than force. The new world forming now values presence over performance, collaboration over competition, purpose over validation. The spiritual revolution unfolding is not loud but effective, built through everyday actions rooted in awareness. It's people reclaiming their inner authority, guided not by external systems but by the pulse of truth within. Soon this shift will no longer be called spiritual. It will simply be life. Humanity is remembering what it means to live in coherence with creation itself. The energy of October 13th is a reminder that awakening is not somewhere in the distance. It's right here, alive in every breath, every decision, every act of courage. The next chapter of evolution is being written through consciousness itself, and those who choose to participate consciously will shape it. The collective transformation now unfolding will redefine success, love, and purpose. Power will no longer come from dominance, but from every great transition asks for grounding, not retreat, but conscious stillness. After the rare moon event of October 13th, energy moves faster and awareness deepens. The advice now is simple but profound. Slow your reaction, not your growth. The path ahead rewards clarity over speed. Begin each day by greeting the sun with gratitude and ending each night by releasing what no longer belongs. These small rituals build the bridge between transformation and stability. Ancient Hermetic wisdom taught that balance creates mastery. The alchemists weren't turning metal to gold. They were turning confusion into understanding. You are called to do the same. Every challenge is a mirror showing where alignment is missing. When frustration rises, see it as unexpressed truth seeking a voice. When silence comes, trust it as guidance. The next phase of awakening requires presence, not the chase for meaning, but the embodiment of it. Walk more, speak less, and listen to the subtleties of your own energy. The simplest moments now hold the highest lessons. The universe is not testing you. It's refining you for the light you are meant to carry forward. On nights when uncertainty visits, look up and recall how the moon always returns. Each phase refining its glow. So too will you refine yours. Keep faith in the process that cannot be seen but can always be lived. The true revolution now is inner steadiness. The calm that makes vision possible. The calm that changes everything. This moment carries the mark of turning. The skies lean closer as if listening, as if waiting for those ready to rise with purpose. The moon glowing through October 13th was not a routine light in the sky. It was an announcement. Something larger than routine is now unfolding, asking hearts to stand awake and hands to act with intention. Every thought has weight now. Every word echoes across unseen bridges of connection. Power is not in control. It is in clarity. The more you choose calm direction, the more aligned the path becomes. There is a call humming through the collective right now, reminding each awakened soul that silence is no longer enough. Speak truth, create boldly, anchor light through compassion. Those who have felt on the edge of breakthrough step forward. The time for hesitation has ended. The moon signal was not a metaphor, but a movement in consciousness itself. Stand with it, Move with it. Breathe new order into the human story through presence and intention. Comment below a power phrase that anchors your strength tonight. Share this message with someone standing on the threshold of awakening. Someone ready to remember that everything changes the moment awareness becomes action.